In the news, she loved it in the news. She thought knowledge would take me. Till she started singing the blues. She was singing the blues, being glad is a blessing. Oh, she will hold it down till boom, boom, she boom, 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 she boom. Boom, 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 she boom, a boom, she boom, boom, she. Damn, she was in love with everything. She was in love with everything. She thought love would save the people. She get high, so it's not as good as drugs. No, not as good as flu. As high as evil, get evil. She would always hold it down till one day. She boom, 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 she boom, boom, she boom, boom, she boom, 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 she boom, boom, she boom, boom, she. Damn, she loved going to bars. Yeah, she loved going to bars was her only freedom. Now she just drinks at home alone. She misses all the friends she didn't know how bad she needs them. She would always boom, 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 she boom, a boom, she boom, boom, she, a boom, she boom, 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 she boom, boom, she boom, boom, she, a boom, she shiva, boom, boom, she shiva, boom, she shiva, boom, she, a boom, she shiva, boom, boom, she shiva, boom, she shiva, boom, she, boom. Hello, thank you, hello everyone, and welcome to the night before the first night of the Frigid Festival put on by Frigid, New York. I am Jackson Sturkey on guitar, that was Will Studebaker, and we are so excited to be here for what has been an amazing creative home for so many artists. And whether you have performed with Frigid New York many times, and whether this is your first time with the Frigid Festival, we are so glad to have you here tuning in. Tonight we are doing our Snapshots showcase of many of the shows that are going to be in the Frigid Festival this year. Now you might be asking, what is the Frigid Festival? Well, the Frigid Festival is an indie theater festival here in New York, and it's the only theater festival where 100% of the box office goes to the artists. So you know, if you come out and see one of these shows, if you come out and see all of these shows, if you come out and see any of these shows, that the proceeds of you buying that ticket are going to the people who are here on stage creating. It is an amazing opportunity. We've got a lot of amazing acts that we're going to be showcasing tonight at 3 minutes apiece. Now, in my pocket, I've got a little description of the show. And so what we're going to do, I'm going to just run through this a bit like an open mic, which they do a wonderful open mic here every Tuesday if you're looking for something to do over at Under St. Mark's. It is legendary, it has been around forever, it is the best open mic going in New York City. And so, to run it like the open mic, we're going to go like this. On double deck, we're going to have And Toto 2. On deck, we're going to have The Pleasure's Mine. But coming to the stage right now to start off the show, we're going to have 3 Funerals and a Chimp. Now, 3 Funerals and a Chimp is Brian Schiller's autobiographical stand-up narrative about the deaths of his mother and brother, which precipitated his move to southern Florida and becoming a live-in caregiver to his dad for 4 years before his passing. Brian goes on an unexpected journey in this sometimes philosophical, sometimes unflattering, funny search for meaning and truth. So for our first snapshot of this year's Frigid Festival, let's give a warm welcome to Brian Schiller in 3 Funerals and a Chimp.
Which one do I use?
Whichever one feels right.
Okay. My name is Brian Schiller. tell you a little about myself. I kind of took a circuitous route to being a professional stand-up comedian. I started in my early 20s, never really made any money at it, so I quit. Started back up again later in life, never really made any money at it, only I didn't quit.
Yeah. Okay.
But when you hear about some of the jobs that I've had in the past, you'll see for me, sliding back into stand-up wasn't exactly my worst choice. I was a professional babysitter. That's right. An adult male babysitter. Of all the male-dominated fields out there, this was not one of them. No one is skimming through potential people to look after their children thinking, yeah, she seems great, but I want more of a creepy uncle vibe for little Johnny. Typically, my competition for the job was a 13-year-old girl, Susie, and she took a lot of my best gigs. Hey, I admit it, she brought things to the table I didn't have, like experience, help with math homework, and dignity. I am trying to read more as I get older. You see, when I was in the first grade, I got diagnosed with dyslexia, and I struggled. And I'm not going to do like a typical joke about dyslexia where I say a word backwards, ha, you know. I'm just going to say that when I got to high school, a guidance counselor told me not to worry, that there were many famous people with dyslexia who had gone on to live extraordinary lives. People like Albert Einstein and Tom Cruise. And it really made me feel good to know that one day I could perhaps become this really great scientist or this really great Scientologist. And both men are heroes of mine. I mean, Einstein did the impossible, and Tom Cruise did Mission Impossible. 6 times! 6 times! So, I grew up in a house with 2 brothers, a mom and a dad, and my mother had a sign in the kitchen just above the sink that said, "Love one another." I'm pretty sure that's what it said. It was hard to concentrate with all that yelling. And you see, my brothers had a very dysfunctional sibling rivalry. My brother Kenny, was the firstborn, and then there was my brother Robert, who is smart and funny one. I was actually considered the best looking one in my family, which is not all that impressive when you consider, in a family of average looking people. It's kind of like being voted Employee of the Month at the Waffle House. And that's all my time. Hey, thanks a lot, I appreciate it.
Let's hear it again for Brian Schiller! If you see any performances tonight, too, that you are interested in seeing, you're going to want to go to frigid.nyc, and we'll have all of the information about the Frigid Festival. For now, we've got lots more Snapshots to get through. Let's keep rolling right along. So that means that on Double Deck, we're going to have the Portly Lutheran Know-It-All. On deck, we've got And Toto 2. But coming to the stage now is going to be Molly Brenner in The Pleasure's Mine. Now, in The Pleasure's Mine, comedian Molly Brenner of the Edinburgh Fringe chronicles her long journey to her first orgasm and explores other wanton pleasures along the way. Directed by Elizabeth Bennet, the new one, Molly Brenner. Oh.
You don't have to read that.
All right, I love it. Thank you. Live theater. Let's keep it rolling right along for Molly Brenner.
I need to come. I need to come just so I can do something different with my face for 45 seconds. My face hurts from smiling. And like, we all know why now, you know, the whole like telling women to smile thing, like we get it now, but like, I seem to still be doing it. Like, I smile when I'm in an empty room because God is watching. I'm like a stock photo of a woman eating salad. By the way, I'm convinced all those men who tell you to smile more are just plastic surgeons who want to charge you for fillers when you get smile lines. And honestly, I'm open. Like, when I was 22, I was like, I'd never get plastic surgery. And now I'm like, I have $300. What can we do here? And I'm mad about other stuff, too. Like, last month, I spent 100 American dollars on vitamin C serum while fully not knowing what it does. Like, I don't know what results I'm supposed to be seeing, but I know I'm not seeing them. Like, is it possible for something to make you look extra the same? Like, seriously, they're charging us $100 for a bottle of liquid garbage. Meanwhile, men don't even wear moisturizer and their skin looks fine. For men, seriously, we don't even need this stuff, but they've got me so afraid of aging, I'm spending my retirement fund on moisturizer made during a certain moon cycle. Like, I won't be able to afford hospice care because I'm a Sephora beauty insider.
Birthday gift.
What's on the inside? Like, do I now get to meet Mr. Sephora? And he finally admits that all the bottles are just filled with special water? And I can only leave if I join a multi-level marketing scheme of telling other women they need this stuff? Like, is that what's happening here? Oh, and aside from the pink tax, there's the time tax, too. How do I get my time back? Even just time spent looking in the mirror, waiting to age backwards. Truly aging as I hate myself for aging. Or time spent deleting, then adding, then deleting exclamation points from an email. Women don't live longer. I mean, sure, we die later than men, but we only live a fraction of that time. And every time I get a massage, I'm like, sorry for my body. Sorry my shoulders are so tense from simultaneously hating the wedding industrial complex and calculating how soon I need to meet someone to date for 2 years and get married by 35, which it turns out was 2 weeks ago. And I'm looking at an Instagram post about self-love thinking, I'll never be this good at loving myself or at graphic design. And I don't think I'll ever be as happy as someone who watches The Bachelor unironically, like someone who's like, it's so cool how the producers are their friends. And I think I've been speaking an octave higher than necessary my entire life. See? I need to come. Tomorrow night, 8:45. But I don't think there are tickets left. But so come to the next one.
Thank you so much, darling. Let's hear it again for Molly Brenner in The Pleasure's Mine. Guys, we're gonna keep it rolling right along, which means on double deck, we've got driver's seat. On deck, we've got Portly Lutheran. But coming to the stage now is And Toto 2. Now, And Toto 2 is a cabaret-style diva retrospective. Terry is a seasoned dog actress who finally gets to reveal the highs and lows of being the most famous dog of the 20th century. Sounds great. She also delves into a relationship with the other big breakout star of Oz, Judy Garland. So please welcome to the stage Megan Quick in And Toto 2.
Thank you all for having me here tonight. I am the most famous dog of the 20th century. You're welcome for my presence. I'll be meeting Barbara Streisand for drinks later. Okay, that's the kind of elite status I have. This is my accompanist. Let's just get on with it. Thank you. So many divas on this stage. This is Camille Harris. My usual accompanist is a cat, but she's union, so she couldn't be here tonight. All right. Thank you, Camille. I didn't want to do it. I didn't want to do it. You made me sit for you, as if I wanted to do it. I never wanted to do it. You made me fetch sometimes, which made me glad. You made me beg sometimes, which made me feel so bad. You made me scream. I didn't want to tell you. I didn't want to tell you. I want some treats. That's true. Yes, I do. Indeed, I do. You know I do. Give me what I cry for. You know you got the box of milk bones that I die for. You may clap at that. You know you made me love you. I know you all want to see my show. Buy tickets for it. Sales out. Thank you.
Let's hear it again for Antoto, too. A tale as old as time. Hi, darlings. I'm your pal, Jackson Sturkey, and this is the Frigid, New York Snapshots. We are getting little clips of many of the wonderful performances that are going to be part of the Frigid Festival this year here at Frigid, New York. Now, there are 2 locations for it. We are currently in the Crane Theater, or there's also Under St. Mark's Theater, which has just been fully refurbished. If anyone is a friend of the mic, or is a friend of the show, is a friend of the theater, you know everything that Frigid New York has been through, especially Under St. Mark's. And it's going to be this week. The open mic that they do every week is going to be here at the Crane. But then on the 22nd, it will be returning to its original home at Under St. Mark's Theater. And boy, we're glad to have it back over there. Now, darlings, without further ado, we're going to get into a lot more snapshots. And if you want to find out about any of the shows tonight, check in at frigid.nyc. So on Double Deck, we're going to have As You Will. On deck, we've got the driver's seat. But coming to the stage now is going to be Portly Lutheran Know-It-All. Now, when faced with the prospect of attending a religious middle school, Matt Storrs, a Portly Lutheran boy, decides to act out for the first time in his life. Clashes with religion, sexuality, and mandatory arts and crafts quickly ensue. There's revelation, damnation, and ultimately, new information. So please, welcome to the stage Matt Storrs in Portly Lutheran Know-It-All.
Oh, hi, everybody. So I grew up as a Lutheran, and the school that I went to was Missouri Synod Lutheran. And most people think that those are effectively the same thing. They're not. And the best way to describe the differences between the two is through describing what type of guilt that they feel. The best way to describe the differences between any Christians, in my opinion. So a Lutheran will feel guilty if you invite them to a party and they don't show up early enough to help you set up. And a Missouri Synod Lutheran will feel that same guilt. But they also think you are guilty for having a party. So much stricter than what I was used to. But I talk a lot about the negative aspects of the school. There were some positive aspects. For instance, I saw my first concert at that school. It was a Simon and Garfunkel cover band called Simon and Gomorrah. My favorite song of theirs was The Sound of Sodom. It was a take off The Sound of Silence. And the worst part about that is that I hadn't heard Simon and Garfunkel before. So when I finally did, I'm like, this secular music is a complete ripoff. It's unoriginal. It's confusing. The But that school, they didn't believe in evolution. So one day in science class, our teacher's like, you know, the theory of evolution says they're supposed to be in between animals. You don't see any half cow, half whales in the fossil record. Those two things are supposed to be related. And to prove her point, she pulled out a stuffed animal. The front half was a cow. The back half was a whale. She had stitched two stuffed animals together. And she's like, don't see any of these guys in the fossil record now, do you? And she's like, if anybody can give me any idea how these two things could be related, you can take him home. And I now know it's inaccurate, but I raised my hand. And I'm like, yeah, excuse me, that looks like a manatee. And I was excused from science class for 2 weeks. They call it a suspension, but I knew better. At that school, I knew I wasn't cool because people stopped saying bless you when I sneezed. Very sad. But I got back at them. I started saying I love you whenever anybody sneezed. And eventually a teacher came up to me and was like, Matt, we practice the Christian ideal of metanoia. There are 7 different types of Christian love. But that's creepy. You need to stop it. But I still do it. And it gets me in trouble when I'm on the subway. And like the other day I did it, and a guy was like, yeah, not interested! And got off the train. The little boy came up to me, pulled on my shirt, and was like, keep trying. Somebody will love you. Anyway, thank you so much. I appreciate it. First show is the 18th at 8:45 at Under St. Mark's. Right?
Let's hear it again for that portly Lutheran know-it-all. I don't want you to be looking up the boy later. Look up the know-it-all. Darlings, we're going to keep it rolling right along. On Double Deck, we've got a friend of Frigid, New York, a wonderful performer who's done so much work with us. We're going to have Mike Lemmy in Bathroom of a Bar on Bleecker. On deck, we're going to have, it looks like a whole ensemble for As You Will, but we'll find out. But coming to the stage right now is going to be Driver's Seat. Now, Driver's Seat is a one-woman show based on true events, a story of living with disability, a mental health crisis, and hospitalization. A once-in-a-lifetime heartbreak, coming out as queer, and possibly learning how to thrive. A woman's darkest moments shared on stage while finding humor and a journey to recovery along the way. Please welcome to the stage, Ali Brelis in Driver's Seat.
The psychiatric hospital looked like a college dorm crossed with a hospital. The floors were cold, the doors didn't lock. A staff member performed a check-in every 15 minutes to see if each patient was safe. If you were in the bathroom, they would open the door and ask for hands and face, and you'd have to bend over on the toilet and wave at them like you were giving them jazz hands. Once I was moved from level 1 to level 2, I was allowed to go outside during porch time and fresh air walks, but they were always supervised. I turned into a dog, waiting to be fed, waiting to be let outside, waiting for someone to take me on a walk. Whenever I heard the word walk, my ears would perk up and I would get so excited. One day during porch time, I went back inside to get some water, and the door locked behind me. And I couldn't get the attention of the supervisor outside, so I kind of just whimpered and pawed at the door. And a grown man looked at me and said, "Aw, do you want to be let outside?" Yes. So he unlocked the door and I trotted off to my friends who were out in the garden eating something. I went up to them and they were like, "We're trying all the herbs and shamrocks. Have you ever had a shamrock before?" "You mean like a clover from the ground, like grass?" "I feel like I'm being hazed." "Oh, you for sure are," they said. So I tried a shamrock. I really am a dog now, eating the grass with my friends. And I looked around at these amazing people I had just met thinking, I never thought I'd be at a psychiatric hospital eating grass, but here I am. And now I know that a shamrock tastes like lemon. Friday at 10:30.
All right. If you want to catch more of that, Friday at 10:30. You can find out about all of our shows at Frigid NYC. Darlings, this is the Snapshots, but you already know that. And let's get a round of applause for all the amazing artists who we've seen so far. it is shaping up to be a great festival. So much talent. It's always so exciting who you're going to meet, who you're going to network with, and what's going to be next. But I think next, for anyone who's tuning in, who's watching right now, I think next is going to Frigid.nyc and getting some tickets for some of these shows. Because the Frigid Festival, it is the only festival where 100% of the door, 100% of the box office goes to the artist you see on stage. And so, darlings, with that in mind, we're going to keep it rolling right along. So on Double Deck, Will and I are going to do another number for you, and that'll be the halfway point of our show. On deck, we've got Bathroom of a Bar on Bleecker, but coming to the stage right now, we've got As You Will. Now, if there's one problem with the 884,647 words of what William Shakespeare wrote, is that they've all been performed already. What about the virtually infinite number of words he hasn't written yet? The players of As You Will present the works of the immortal bard would have written if he hadn't gone and died. So please, welcome to the stage, As You Will!
Thank you. Thank you very much. I'm Connor. I'm one of the members of As You Will. We couldn't all be here tonight. The rest of us are going to be sitting in a darkened room, poring over the first folio, trying to get a new understanding of Shakespeare. I'm from As You Will. We do unscripted Shakespeare, which means every night at our show, we get a title of a Shakespeare play that does not exist, and then we perform that show in its entirety, using the themes, language, and verse of the late, great William Shakespeare. But tonight there isn't really enough time for me to perform an entire Shakespeare play. But Shakespeare didn't just write plays. He also wrote some poems, which are not that great, and I wouldn't recommend them. But he also, well, some long poems, you like epic poems. You don't want it. But he also wrote some sonnets, which are great. You've probably heard some of them before. One starts, "Shall I compare thee to a summer's day?" Yeah? Yeah, I really love that one. But sonnets are typically not written about things or about far-off events. They are usually written about people. So I need a person that I can write a sonnet about today. And I'm going to be writing it completely off the cuff. Would there be a volunteer out in the audience who would be willing to have a sonnet written about them?
Will Studebaker volunteers.
Yeah, you will. Okay, cool. Hi, Will. How you doing?
Good, how are you?
What pronoun should I use for you when I'm talking in the sonnet? Thank you. Here's what you need to do. You need to think up 3 shameless brags about yourself. Just do that for a moment, and while you're doing that, I'm going to tell these people what a sonnet is, since they already know, but it will be good content. So sonnets are 14-line poems that are all 10 syllables long. They're written in something called iambic pentameter, where each line is unstressed, stressed, unstressed, stressed, for 10 syllables. So we have that line, "Shall I compare thee to a summer's day?" We can actually do that in iambic pentameter with the stressed and unstressed syllables. "Shall I compare thee to a summer's day?" And we know it's 10 syllables long. "Shall I compare thee to a summer's day?" 10 syllables long. So a sonnet has to be 14 lines long, 3 sets of 4 lines, and then 1 set of 2 lines that rhyme with each other. So I have to make that. So Will, have you thought of 3 shameless brags about yourself?
Oh man, you picked the wrong person to boast about themselves, but...
I believe you can do it. They can be small things too. It's like, I did the dishes today. That's important to you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I've gone to the gym like 6 days a week for the last month.
Okay, went to the gym 6 days a week for the last month. Cool.
Let's say I'm undefeated at the board game Terraforming Mars.
Undefeated at Terraforming Mars.
Not
Okay.
entirely true, but we'll go with it.
Yeah.
I'm good at guitar.
And good at guitar. Excellent. Very good. So this is an ode to Will. I tell you now a tale that is true. There is someone who has gone now very far. He is a person who, if you can do, you should see him go out and play guitar. He is a person who, if he went and came to a place you'd say, that's a car. He is one who's very good at board games, specifically the game Terraforming Mars. I think of him, he's one you'd wish you'd seen. He is full of such zeal and such zim, for he is one who's, I've been told, has been This past month, 6 times to the gym. He is great, he's also not a shill. You should pay attention to the great Will. Thank you very much. Our first show with As You Will is at Under St. Mark's on Thursday at 10:30 p.m. Please come out, a different show every night.
Let's hear it again for As You Will. And darlings, we're going to keep it rolling right along. So on Double Deck, we're going to have a video streamed in from our other theater location. That's going to be a performance by Pueblo Revolt. On deck, Will and I are going to do another number, but coming to the stage right now is going to be Bathroom of a Bar on Bleecker. Now, Emile Frizzola stars in this tragedy on Laxative's dark comedy about recording the final episode of America's first comedy podcast, live from the bathroom of a bar on Bleecker Street in New York City. Witness the end of an era.
How many of you, my name's Mike, by the way, I'm the writer and the director of the show. How many of you like podcasts? How many of you have ever listened to a podcast? Okay. And how many of you enjoy theater? You will love this show. Good night, everybody. That should be it. That should be it. You will find the show entertaining. It is a fun, tragic comedy. It's a tragedy on laxatives. And it takes place in the bathroom of a bar on Bleecker Street. I bought a toilet for the show, so you need to come. I bought a toilet. I live in a studio apartment in Astoria, and my landlady helped me carry this toilet up the stairs. Right? Yeah, so that's worth the price of admission anyway, so you better come to that. And right now in my apartment, I have more toilets than plates. I have 2 toilets. 2 toilets, baby. 2 toilets. And my first time directing a piece of theater, and I think I'm doing a good job. The other night, Emile was deciding if he should wear slippers on stage, and I told him not to because they make too much noise.
Well done.
Thank you. Yeah, I am directing the fuck out of this show. Okay, so I hope you come see it. Our first show is Saturday at 1:45 p.m. at Under St. Mark's. Thank you, everybody. Thanks.
Let's hear it one more time for all of the performances we've seen so far. And guys, you already know, but in case anyone's just tuning in, this is the Snapshot show for Frigid, New York, for the Frigid Festival. And you know what? It is the only festival where 100% of the box office goes to the artist. So, if you want to help Mike Lemmy pay for that toilet, buy a ticket to the show. Now, darling, Will and I have started hosting an open mic here in the New World. And something that I've found when you're platforming artists and when you're working with artists, the way that Frigid New York has platformed us is it just makes you so much more connected. It makes you so much more powerful. It makes you so much more part of the world around you. And so there's a little number that we wrote just about finding that new power with doing the open mic, with doing shows. And we are going to be doing an hour of original music over at Pangea on March 13th. So if you're looking to link up with us, you can find us at Out Late Tonight on Instagram. And this is one of the new numbers that we wrote for the show. TKO, TKO, forget about it. TKO, TKO, can't live without it. TKO, TKO, forget about it. TKO, TKO, can't live without it. I've been spending all my hours contemplating my newfound power, trying hard to not give in, doing what it takes to win. Oh, I've been walking these streets at night, looking for trouble and getting into fights, trying hard to not give in, doing what it takes to win. When they think I'd throw the towel in. him again. Da, 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 da. I hit him again. Da, 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 da. I hit him again. Da, 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 da. I hit him, 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 I hit him. Give me whiskey, give me wells, give me time for a bottle shell. When your back's against the ropes, even the devil has ways he copes. And when you think he'd throw the towel in, I hit him again. Da, 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 da. Again. Da, 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 da. Again. Da, 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 da. I hit him, 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 I hit him again. Da, 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 da. I hit him again. Da, 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 da. I hit him again. Da, 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 da. I hit him, 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 I hit h Thank you so much. I'm your pal Jackson Sturkey. That is Will Studebaker. Together we are Jack and Ginger. You can find us on Instagram at Out Late Tonight. But darlings, for now, we're going to keep it rolling right along. Our next ones are beaming in from our other theater location under St. Mark's. We're going to have Pueblo Revolt. It is the year 1680, and in what we know about, it is the year 1680 in. Let's take it one more time.
Yeah.
I will tell you right now, I did not look at this before the show started. That's it. We're going live. We're gonna do it live. So it is the year 1680, and what we know as New Mexico, on the cusp of the Pueblo Revolt. Salto Pueblo is a small town on an island occupied by the Spanish and two brothers, Conchi and Hanadi. And they are reconciling with their place in society, their lives, and their roles during a time that feels like it will make history. Without further ado, beaming in from our sister location under St. Mark's Theater, Pueblo Revolt.
Oh, hi! We're actually currently in tech right now, so we're taking this break to do a snapshot. So my name is Amanda Levy. I am the founder of No Peeking Theater, which is a sensory, immersive, and blind theater experience. What the hell does that mean? Well, first it means that you wear a blindfold. Now, let's just say that our show takes place somewhere near the ocean and a wave crashes. Right. Let's say that our show takes place in a cafe around a lot of coffee. Let's pretend our show takes place as like a murder mystery, a whodunit. No, wait. Okay, so you get the idea, right? Okay. This year for the Frigid Festival, our play takes place in 1680, 1681, and 1684 in what is now known as New Mexico. Two brothers, Hennessy and Kochny, are trying to figure out their place in society on the cusp of the first revolution on the North American continent, the Pueblo Revolt. Our show starts on February 19th, and it ends on March 5th. Virtual tickets are available. You do that though. Come and experience this. Did I mention we won the last festival. Okay, bye.
Everybody blows revolt! Love it. I love this mic stand. I love this moment. All right, guys, we're gonna keep it rolling right along. So it's gonna be going, my grandmother's eye patch, that shit don't work, does it? Are you loving it? And many more. So that means on double deck, beaming it all the way from Japan, we're gonna have Are You Loving It? On deck, we've got That Shit Don't Work, Does It? But coming to the stage right now, we're gonna have my grandmother's eye patch. Now join Julia as she attempts to say a final goodbye to her beloved grandmother and realizes how fleeting life is and that it exists to be lived. Let's hear it for Julia in my grandmother's eye patch. Woo!
I like to bring my own stand. I've had the opportunity to speak with some of you here. My name is Julia Vanderveen. My grandmother was Mamie Lee Ratliff Finger. But something you may not know about me is that I am a professional bone joint cracking player. Everybody who walks the earth, Homo sapiens, we have synovial fluid that is between our bone joints. And when we crack them, we release nitrogen gas, which is known as cracking your knuckles. Because of my grandmother, she has extra synovial fluid, so I have been gifted with extra synovial fluid. I have had the honor to tour the world as a professional bone joint cracking player. I've played with many incredible orchestras. Tonight, I am going to be accompanying one of the most beautiful pieces of music ever written, Schubert's Ave Maria. Because of the limitations of the human body, this is a very tenuous art. It depends on how much sleep I've had, the barometric atmospheric pressure, how hydrated I am. I thank you for your patience and understanding. Music, please. 7 o'clock on Saturday. Thanks, guys.
I think we can all agree we need to see more of that. Let's hear it one more time for my grandmother's eye patch. And guys, I'm gonna keep it rolling right along, which means on double deck, we've got a public-private prayer. On deck, we've got a video coming in from Japan, from Theater Group Gumbo. Are you loving it? But coming to the stage right now, we're going to have That Shit Don't Work, Does It? Take a journey that takes a look into the mind, maybe your own. The experiments will be real, and so will the reactions of the audience. So please welcome Howie Hypnotize in That Shit Don't Work, Does It?
Thank you, thank you. I am Howie Hypnotize. How do we hypnotize fast and fun and fast? Tonight, though, we're going to do a little mentalism. I've been working on a lot of things since this COVID thing started, and one of the things that I had to work on was try to get a little distance between mine and my people. I need a volunteer out in the audience. Anybody just wave at me, please, somebody.
I'll go again.
I'll take the one right behind you there, since you already helped out. So, on my way here, I found this book, and it was at one of the grocery stores as I came through. One of the things I like to do because of hypnosis, it helps you work with your memory. So, what I want to do is I would like you to place the book flat, and I want you to riffle through the pages, and I just want you to stop on one.
Okay.
You got one?
Yeah.
Open it up, look at it. All right. On that page, there is something circled. I circled there, right? So what I want you to do right now, I want you to look at it, and I want you to look at me after you look at it, all right? And what I've been able to do through this is that I've been able to work on body language, okay? So let me just calibrate with you for just a moment. And I think I'm pretty good after your knuckle cracking thing, because man, I don't know how anybody can get that much, wow, that's a lot of, I can't say the fluid, whatever that fluid was. All right, so do me a favor. I'm thinking, is this an object that a child would play with? It is. Okay. 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 So I have two things here. Okay. I'm getting close, right? Am I getting close? Does that look like the first letter? Does that look like what the first letter would be for the object that is there? And would that be the last letter? Okay, now you gotta do me a favor, you gotta focus on the middle letters for me, focus on the middle, okay? Oh, can you crack two fingers at a time? I'm getting two things that are similar. Are there two things similar? Two things similar. Okay, look at me one more time. Yeah, okay, okay. No, it's this one. It's this one. Are those the two middle letters? Two middle letters. Okay, got it, okay. I think I got it. Yes! Yay! Balloon! All right, folks, my first show is on tomorrow night, 10:30. Thursday night, 10:30. Please come see me. I'd love to see you all there. Again, that shit don't work, does it? Thank you.
All right, let's hear it again for Howie Hypnotize, and that shit don't work, does it? And darlings, anyone that you're seeing tonight, if you're tuning in, this is the Snapshot presentation for the Frigid Festival with Frigid New York. If you want to see more about any of these shows, the festival is opening tomorrow, and you can purchase tickets at frigid.nyc. All right, and we're getting close to the end of our show, but we're not quite there. So on double deck, we've got The Lonely Road. On deck, we've got a public-private prayer. But I'm so excited to be able to share this with you. Beaming in from Japan, the wonderful, the talented theater group Gumbo sent us a video for Are You Loving It?
Mark your calendars. All right, so darlings, keeping it rolling right along. On Double Deck, finishing off our show, we've got
Tomatoes Tried to Kill Me. Ooh, there I am. Hi, it's me again, Jackson Sturkey. I'm loud enough for the room, but those who are at home need to hear this. So that first part of the sentence, they just missed it entirely. So, darlings, on Double Deck, we've got Tomatoes Tried to Kill Me, but Banjo Saved My Life. On deck, we've got The Lonely Road, but coming to the stage now, we've got Grant Bowen in A Public-Private Prayer. Now, Grant is trying to figure out whether or not he believes that God exists. Now that he is resorting to one last tactic, talking to God himself. Through sharing his personal stories, Grant will explore his doubt and hopefully find real salvation. So please welcome to the stage Grant Bowen in A Public-Private Prayer.
Everybody. Well, the story works out of context. One night, my family went out to Chuck E. Cheese, which is such a good setting. Like, seriously, take any random occurrence from your life and add the phrase at Chuck E. Cheese. You've just taken your story into this wonderfully bizarre direction. My brothers were off playing video games, which is where they remain for the rest of the show. Kids are running around screaming, parents are trying to wrangle them up. The demon robots are on stage singing their songs. And I'm sitting in a booth with my parents, eating pizza, laughing, having a good time. And at one point I just asked, Mom, Dad, is everything in the Bible true? And they got quiet, and their spines stiffened, and they looked at each other. And I was immediately hit with a feeling that I had said something wrong, which was the worst feeling in the world. And my dad tries to play it cool. He goes, well, son, why do you ask? Well, I was thinking about the Adam and Eve story. Mainly the part about the talking snake. And I was wondering if that was something that might be made up. I wasn't trying to be a smartass. I wasn't. I was being honest. My only frame of reference for talking animals were Disney movies. And my dad pauses. He thinks about it for a second. And then he leans in, locks into my eyes, and says, Grant, the devil can do what he wants. Today, I find that hilarious. That he was so serious, the devil can do what he wants. The man who would eventually tell me there's no Santa Claus looked me dead in the eyes and said, the devil can do what he wants. But back then, I kept listening as he kept going. He says, Grant, the devil is powerful, but we know that God is more powerful. And it's because we believe in the Bible that we know he'll be there for us. See, he was that serious. And that's how serious he wanted me to be. So from that point on, whenever I had questions like that, again, they would follow a similar pattern. You know, I'd ask the question, they'd get awkward, I'd get awkward, they'd be like, well, Grant, there's nothing wrong with you having questions. And I'm like, see, it feels like there's something wrong with me having questions. And my dad would keep coming back to this saying, he'd say, Grant, you're looking at it through man's eyes. You've got to learn to look at it through God's eyes. And I was like, whoa, got it. So from that point on, I started trying to take it seriously, whether it was going to Sunday school, reading my Bible, or just listening to my dad talk about God. I took it seriously. See, even now, even doing this, there's this feeling that I might be doing something wrong. But if I am, is it wrong for God or wrong for my parents? And could it possibly be right for me? Thank you. First show is here at the Crane, Thursday night at 7 p.m. Thanks.
Let's hear it one more time for a public-private prayer. Guys, we've got 2 more snapshots for you this evening here in the Frigid Festival snapshot. So if you've seen any of the shows and you want to go out and see them, please link up with frigid.nyc to see when everything is coming through. So many wonderful performances, and 2 more for this evening. So on deck, we've got Tomatoes Tried to Kill Me, but Banjo Saved My Life. Now we're going to have The Lonely Road, a new storytelling show about an epic road trip, heartbreak, and healing. Please welcome to the stage, Will Clegg in The Lonely Road.
July 4th, 2003. I'm in Cedar Creek Lake, Texas. Not where I had expected to be, but this road trip's been full of all kinds of twists and turns. So I had been in Dallas, staying with my mom's best friend from high school, Bay. She's a former beauty queen, and her husband, Bob, who's a former Secret Service agent. And it's the holiday weekend, so it was just very boring there. There's nobody around for me to photograph, and I was getting kind of down on myself. And then when they invited me to go out to their lake house for the 4th, I thought, yeah, I deserve a little treat. So we get up the next morning and we drive out, and I know immediately I've made the right decision because it's so much cooler out here on the water. And we go out on their boat, drive around to see their friends' mansions, and then and we head back and they teach me how to ride a jet ski for the first time in my life. And then I get to have some nice afternoon beers, and then Bob asked me if I can help him set up the grill. So I bring a cooler down to him and I take a peek inside, and there are at least 2 dozen hamburgers and even more hot dogs, and I think that's a lot of food for the 3 of us. And he says, oh, we're having a couple people over for a barbecue later. And what he means by a couple people is actually 20 people. So it's me, 23 years old, with my long hair and scraggly beard and earrings. I'm an artist from New York City, and I'm with 20 Republicans in Texas, some of whom are close personal friends of my enemy, George W. Bush. And it feels like every introduction is going to be the beginning of an adversarial relationship, especially when Bay introduced me as a young photographer from New York. But they're friends. They're just like Bay and Bob. They're all very sweet and warm. And like now, I guess I'm friends with Republicans, except for this one prick, Paul. Paul's this skinny obstetrician, and he says he knows my dad from college. And he says with a laugh and a sneer, I bet he's really proud of what you're doing with your life now, huh? So I laugh back, like too loud, like, so he knows I'm really pissed. And just about to punch this guy in the throat, Bob comes over and stops the ugliness with a bottle of Johnny Walker Blue. I've never tasted anything this expensive in my 23 years. I'm used to like bargain barrel scotch. If I'm even drinking scotch, usually like $5 vodka. And so when he gives me a glass, it doesn't taste like gasoline. It tastes like whiskey candy. And I love it. So 3 glasses later, I'm out on the porch with my 20 new best friends taking a group photo. And then I'm down taking photos of the sunset with a socialite named Sandy, teaching her how to use my Nikon F3. And then as the sun goes down, I'm wandering around the lake's edge, trying not to fall into the water as I'm taking pictures of all the fireworks reflecting on the lake. And it's a glorious night. And then I wake up. It's 7 a.m. and I'm on an unfamiliar couch, fully clothed. And my camera's there, not broken, thankfully. And my head is just throbbing in new and uncomfortable ways. I've had my fun. Holiday's over. And this next part of the drive is really gonna suck. Thanks. My first show is here on Friday night, 8:15.
Let's hear it again for The Lonely Road. And darlings, our last snapshot of the night, and then Will and I are going to do one more number to close off the snapshots. Now, if you've liked what you've been seeing, come out and support each other. If you like what an artist's doing, go up and tell them. They will love to hear it. You know, it's a lonely road, I think, for all of us who are out here creating, but we're in the trenches together. And Frigid, New York, I know for me has been a place where I've had so much support, opportunity to grow, explore. If you have been with them, you already know. If you're new to them, we're glad to have you, to welcome you into the family for the Frigid Festival. And for those of you who are tuning in, this is the only festival where 100% of the box office goes to the artist. So you know if you're coming and seeing a show, you are supporting the artist who is there on the stage. Let's get a round of applause for that, for Frigid, New York. Now, darlings, our last snapshot of the night is going to be Tomatoes Tried to Kill Me, but Banjo Saved My Life. An inspirational, one-man true story about the healing power of the arts. Please welcome to the stage, Tomatoes Tried to Kill Me, but Banjo Saved My Life.
I open here tomorrow at 8:45, and this is how the show opens. They say you can tell who a person really is by looking in their closets. I had 52 banjos in mine, and I couldn't play one of them. What do you get if you toss a banjo off the top of the Empire State Building? Applause. What's the difference between a New York-style pizza and a banjo player? Pizza can feed a family of 4. The most attractive woman in all of Manhattan in the arm of a banjo player. A tattoo. So why would a guy squirrel away banjos like acorns in his closet? Especially when he grew up in a big city listening to Motown music. And why would that flatlander embark upon a journey that would take him to answers at a simple country store on a crooked road in mountainous Southwest Virginia? Why would he take to the stage for the first time since high school in 1972 to tell that story? And then he gets to tell it over 150 times all across Canada, the US, and the UK. As I see it, we're all going down that road of life, learning lessons as we go. The road's never been a straight one for me. It's been full of obstacles and challenges. It's not if they were going to show up, it was when, and when they did, what choices did I make? How did it affect the journey? Now, some obstacles in life are just too big to be overcome. But we don't have a choice. But each and every one of us has a choice about what we put in our closets. This is my story, every single word of it true, about my journey down the road and how the pursuit of passion took me to a place I could have never imagined. Turns out a skin-headed banjo doesn't stay very good in tune in a cold night in New York City. It's been sitting in my trunk all day. But we'll be here tomorrow night at 8:45. Thanks.
Let's hear it one more time for Tomatoes Tried to Kill Me, but Banjo Saved My Life. Let's hear it again for all of the performers who are here sharing their snapshots with us. Thank you guys so much. I know you got to give us a little, and I know you got a lot more to give. I also want to give a round of applause to our viewers in Philadelphia. Thank you for tuning in. I want to give a shout out to our viewers everywhere who are here and supporting. Darling, that is it. That is all our snapshots. So if you're just tuning in, you missed it. But you haven't missed the festival. It's going to be opening tomorrow, running February 16th through the 6th of March. And darling, there is so much wonderful show for you to see here at the Frigid Festival. I am your pal Jackson Sturkey. Over on guitar, that is Will Studebaker. Together we are Jack and Ginger. We host an open mic every Wednesday out at the Nest in Brooklyn, Cuckoo's Open Mic. You can link up with us at Out Late Tonight. If you want to link up with the festival, that's going to be frigid.nyc. It is the only indie festival where 100% of the box office, and I cannot say it enough, where 100% of the box office goes to the artists who are here on stage. So you know if you come and see the shows, you are supporting these artists. Don't let it pass you by. Be sure to come out and support. And darlings, we're going to finish it off with this number. Now, I've been coming to the open mic that Frigid New York goes for most of my time here in New York. And it's under St. Mark's. It's a little basement venue that is just 60 seats and magic. It's the most incredible thing. Someone said to me it was like anarchist church, because we all took turns being the pastor. And with doing that, it linked me up with being able to produce cabarets here. I'm doing a big cabaret show March 13th over at Pangea. Link up at Out Late Tonight on Instagram to find out more. And this is a song that I wrote, because that's what I do now. I write songs, I write musicals. And this is a Star Wars love song. We were made to fight some far-off emperors, intergalactic war. I may be one of many clones. No clone heart loves you more. I hate sand, it's rough, coarse, and irritating. It gets everywhere. It's hot, it's Jabba the Hutt's taint on this desert planet. But you're here, so I don't care. If we could just take off our helmets, then maybe you could see we share more than uniforms and DNA. You belong with me. I hope you realize stars are worth looking at, and born for fighting wars. Used to laugh when you knock your head on the bottom of spaceship's doors. You fall in love as deep as policy, and the seas that hold you shore. And I hope you find the droids you're looking for. I hope you find the droids you're looking for. Oh, da 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 da. Do you remember when you said Order 66 was a cruel and hateful blow? The only thing that's worse is loving you and knowing you'll never know. I think love only has a dark side. The light side only lets you down. I get choked up when I think of it, though Lord Vader's not around. If we could just take off our helmets, then maybe you could see we share more than uniforms and DNA. You belong with me. I hope you realize stars are worth looking at, and born for fighting wars. Used to laugh when you knock your head on the bottom of spaceship's doors. You fall in looking for. No, I'll never be the drug you're looking for. Thank you so much. I am your pal Jackson Sturkey. If you're thinking about it in the room, stick around for the open mic later. It starts at 9:30, and you're going to meet lots of wonderful people. That is Will Studebaker. We have Chris in the booth. The bar was closed, but we have lots of wonderful shows for you here at the Frigid Festival. Let's hear it one more time for everyone in the room, for everyone watching, and we're going to see you. The festival starts tomorrow. Good night.